Hi, I'm Chelsea Hubbard, and I'm the managing attorney of the Western Regional Office at Land of Lincoln. I work out of Alton with so many fabulous people to be a part of this fantastic organization. One of my fondest memories of Lincoln and working here was my opportunity to work on an appellate case and to make an oral argument in front of the appellate court. So much is it a fond memory that I even drew a picture of what the appellate judges reminded me of. That's me, that's them, and to try to demonstrate what that memory was and to kind of keep it, and I keep it in my desk. One of the reasons why it was important to me was I, unlike so many of my peers that graduated at law school at the same time, at Land of Lincoln, I was given opportunities to advance my skills and to work as a litigator and really have direct client impact right away and throughout my career at Land of Lincoln, culminating in that moment in front of the appellate court. Another fantastic reason why I loved it is because we were really helping a client in need in a moment that she didn't have anywhere else to turn, and no one else could help her through that situation except for a legal aid attorney that understood that specific situation she was going through. As it so happened, I was representing a client that was a non-citizen of the United States in a domestic violence related issue, and she couldn't even be there for the oral argument. But because I work for a fantastic organization, I had other people to support me at that moment. Specifically, I had the support of my managing attorney and my colleagues and our litigation director there with me in court to be able to help be by my side and to help show support for the advocacy and work that we were doing. It was a fantastic moment, and it will be a forever memory of my time here at Land of Lincoln. I think it's also demonstrative of what makes this organization so special is the camaraderie, the support of each other, and the outcomes that we are able to achieve for our clients. Again, when they have little or nowhere else to turn to, they have a fantastic and enthusiastic group of attorneys and team members that are willing to go to bat for them and argue in front of appellate judges. So thank you for letting me share this memory.
A favorite memory of working at Land of Lincoln is the day that I was offered the job. The day I was offered the job, I found out I was pregnant with my first child, and that made for a very interesting conversation with George Bell. The thing I really appreciated about working at Land of Lincoln for those 38 years was the opportunity to work at a job that was consistent with my values. I take seriously the biblical requirement in Micah 6 verse 8 to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly. And although I don't do that every day, working at Land of Lincoln gave me the opportunity to work in an environment where I was challenged to do those things every day, and I really appreciate that.
Prompt tells me that I am supposed to tell you about a favorite memory of Land of Lincoln and what I most appreciate about Land of Lincoln. I'm also told that the best of these last less than a minute. That does not give me enough time to tell you my favorite anecdote of working at Land of Lincoln, which involves snakes, seizures, and murder, but it does give me enough time to tell you about the occasion when I was conducting cross-examination during a trial, and that cross-examination drew the objection of badgering the witness, and it was sustained. That was one of the proudest moments of my legal career. The thing that I appreciate most about Land of Lincoln is my colleagues and the clients. I worked with so many wonderful people at Land of Lincoln. It would be impossible for me even to name them all in the time that I'm given. But each of you should know that you made me a better lawyer and a better person, and I thank you for that. I also loved representing the clients. It was tremendously satisfying to be able to help them get their stories heard and get their problems solved. They were not litigious, as some private attorneys would like to tell me, because they did not have to pay for their lawyer. They wanted their case over as quickly as possible and would often settle for terms that I thought were less advantageous than they could have gotten had they gone to trial. It was an honor to represent them. Happy anniversary, Land of Lincoln.
Hi, my name is Ramona Sullivan. I currently serve as a circuit judge in the 6th Circuit, sitting in Champaign County, Illinois. I was affiliated with Land of Lincoln from 1994 until 2015, and I worked out of 3 separate offices in Champaign, 2 separate offices in Charleston, 2 separate offices in Decatur. And what I appreciated the most about my time at Land of Lincoln, of course, is the people. It is not possible for me to mention all of the people individually, but the attorneys that I worked with, the support staff that I worked with, the volunteers, the law students, and absolutely the clients are people who have shaped my life, who have given me perspective, and for whom I am profoundly grateful. Congratulations on 50 years of excellence, and thanks for including me in this celebration.
I have so many memories from my 43 years at Land of Lincoln. The one I'd like to share with you today is of my first meeting with Ethel Sylvester and Edna Mays, often known in East St. Louis as the Twins, which they were. I'd been at Land of Lincoln about a year, I think, when Ethel and Edna let me know they wanted to come into the office and talk to me about public housing. They had been leaders of the rent strike that had been several years earlier, and they wanted Land of Lincoln to continue to help. They were fiery, vocal African-American women, a couple of decades older than me, and had grown up in poverty. We went on to become not only friends, but also close colleagues and partners in our attempts to improve public housing in East St. Louis, as well as other conditions in the city. From that point on, I saw them often. They brought clients who needed help. They told me about critical issues in the community. But in the mid-1980s, they came in and showed us and told us that conditions at the Housing Authority had declined precipitously, that in a city where housing was in high demand, there were many units standing vacant, open, and in poor condition. So we began to work in the office on the legal part of it, while Edna and Ethel were out talking to tenants. In the end, pretty much everybody in the whole office went together and did the work to file a class action against HUD and the Housing Authority. That class action ultimately resulted in HUD coming in and taking over the Housing Authority, the first time they had ever done that in the country, as well as allocating millions of dollars for repairs. And really, it all started from that first meeting I had with Edna and Ethel all those years before. I've also been asked to say what I appreciate most about Land of Lincoln. Again, that's a hard question, but I guess the primary thing is I appreciate that Land of Lincoln gave me the opportunity to spend my entire legal career as a legal aid attorney. Once Land of Lincoln offered me the position, I accepted it and I stayed. I also deeply appreciate the leadership provided by Joe Bartolak for over 30 years. Joe encouraged and supported and worked for all of us to do the best we could for our clients and our communities. If I ever went to Joe to ask about filing a lawsuit or helping in some way with conditions that were being faced by our clients, he never said no. He always said, "How can I help?" And Joe couldn't have been like that without our outstanding board of directors, and I also appreciate them for allowing Land of Lincoln, for guiding Land of Lincoln, leading Land of Lincoln to be the great program that it is. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Liz Baum. I am a paralegal with our Central Regional Office in East St. Louis. I started my career at Land of Lincoln in 2006 in our Western Regional Office in Alton. I transitioned to East St. Louis in 2014. I currently assist with all of the bankruptcy cases at Land of Lincoln. I have many good stories that I could share, but I would like to mention one particular client that stood out to me. I'll call him Bob. Bob was a 91-year-old World War II Navy commander. He had spent everything he had just trying to take care of his wife, who he ultimately lost to health issues. He had racked up thousands of dollars in credit card debt and other bills just trying to take care of her. And he just wanted to make sure he could leave this life without owing all of that debt. Bob primarily communicated with me by email, and he was so quick and responsive, even more so than some of our younger clients. If I told him I needed something from him, I generally had it the same day. He ended up celebrating his 92nd birthday during his case, and I created an e-card filled with Navy symbols to tell him happy birthday and that we were grateful for his service. Bob called me nearly in tears to tell me how much he appreciated my taking the extra effort to do that for him. We ended up discharging nearly $40,000 worth of debt for him, and I believe he survived another 3 years before he passed away. I was truly honored to be able to offer service to someone who had dedicated his life to serving us. I have many other good stories that I could tell. Chair races in the giant hallway, a coworker who decided to test the security of a newly installed client greeting window by climbing through it. Really, all the stories, good or bad, they just boil down to my being very grateful that I found a home here at Land of Lincoln, and I look forward to retiring here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Linda Zazoff. What I've always appreciated about Land of Lincoln was the people, from the clients we serve to my dedicated coworkers to our committed board members. I'm going to share an organizational memory from 1997. We were facing significant funding cuts from the Legal Services Corporation and restrictions on the types of work we could do. The board and management team were already engaged in retrenchment planning, and I was a staff attorney in the East St. Louis office handling mostly work that was going to be banned. With Joe Bartolak's permission, I paid to attend a week-long grant writing training with an eye to diversifying funding. At the end of the week, we had one assignment to go to our executive directors with a request that would help our ability to increase funding. The training had emphasized strategic planning as essential. I was not sure how that would be received by Joe, since the board and management team were already engaged in retrenchment planning and we were facing funding cuts. Joe surprised me, as he often did, and said it was a good idea. Solving the cost problem, he said I should facilitate the process. Volunteer staff members from throughout the program contributed many hours on that process, despite their already busy days and heavy caseloads. It was their commitment, creativity, and flexibility that led to our first strategic plan. Within a few years, we had reduced our dependence significantly on LSC funding. An organization is only as good as its people. Land of Lincoln's people are second to none.
Hey, this is Sheila Simon. I'm here with my buddy Mike Ruiz, and we say happy anniversary, Land of Lincoln. We're both pretty lucky to have worked there, right?
Exactly. I think I was fired though. Did you complete your whole
fired?
time? Yes.
Did I fire you?
No, someone fired me.
Okay.
I think I was stealing pens.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's one of the perks. That's why I like. We're supposed to talk about what we liked about working at Land of Lincoln, and for me, it was all the free office supplies. I think that's what really it made up for the lack of salary.
So silly. So anyway, I think we would both agree that one of the best things about working at Land of Lincoln was the people that we got to meet. Both the clients and the folks that we worked with, and particularly the fabulous folks that we worked with.
I hear that Paul Mantalonis is still working there.
Paul Mantalonis is amazing. Paul and Mike were like the young Turks when I started a million years ago.
I thought he'd be dead by now. I didn't. That's amazing. He's still. Congratulations, Paul, on being alive after. You think 50 years, by the way, they would have solved it by now. I mean, polio took like 40 years. I think legal assistance.
Anyway, we're very happy that we work at Land of Lincoln, and very happy and thankful for all those who work there now, because you're doing great stuff, and keep up the good work.
Did you hear they got a raise?
I'm glad.
They got a raise, making big money now. They don't need all those off. I'm still missing a pen. I think I left a pen in my desk. So if you find that in the Murfreesboro office, could you return it to me?
Send it to Mike at the law school.
Yes.
All right.
Congratulations on 50 years.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Muriel Shackelford, and I worked at Land of Lincoln for 12 years as the Long-Term Care Regional Ombudsman. And my favorite memory of Land of Lincoln is their interest in the Long-Term Care Ombudsman program. They were the only legal aid office that provided an attorney for the Ombudsman program, a dedicated attorney for the Ombudsman program. So I just feel that in my job there as Long-Term Care Ombudsman, I was just so blessed that Land of Lincoln cared enough about seniors to make sure that whenever there was a legal issue, an attorney was there to help seniors who could not help themselves. Thank you, Land of Lincoln. You will always be in my heart.
Hi everyone, my name is Sheila Burton. I worked at Land of Lincoln for many years, starting in 1988. Off and on, in fact, Land of Lincoln is my only legal career. When I think about favorite memories, I have many. I'm thinking about crawling through basement windows with Dom Hoffman years ago, but probably my favorite memory was my sewer case and the support of all of the Land of Lincoln staff when we filed the case to get the city to fix the sewer leaks in East St. Louis, and it resulted in the mayor being hauled off to jail. My favorite memory. I'm blessed that Land of Lincoln was part of my life, and I'm blessed with the support of Land of Lincoln for joining hands in these more recent years. So all the best. Can't wait to see what the future holds for you.
Hi, I'm Michelle Davis, the managing attorney of the Legal Advice and Referral Center. I started Land of Lincoln about 8 years ago, at a time when there were a few people retiring after several years of service. I remember being the new person attending some of these retirement celebrations and the amazement that I felt after hearing all the wonderful things that people had done here. I remember thinking to myself, this is where I belong. This is where I want to be. And I've been here ever since. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jackie Tate. I have been with Land of Lincoln for almost 20 years. What do I appreciate most about Land of Lincoln? Well, first I must say that I truly love what Land of Lincoln stands for. It is our mission and our vision that keeps me wanting to continue to work for such a wonderful program. I love what our attorneys are doing and our staff as a whole, and just helping individuals in our community to know their rights and protect their rights. I love that we are helping them by giving them a better chance to have a better life. And I must say that not only do we support our clients, the Land of Lincoln's organization do support our employees across the program. That's including our board of directors and all of our leaders, because they do find ways to reward us by looking for different incentives and benefits, and then also the financial increase that we have received over the years. And so Land of Lincoln, I take this time to say congratulations on 50 years of legal services. Thank you.